Good everybody, it's Batman, and today we're going to be doing a Naruto reaction. Today we're going to be checking out one of the worst scalers in Naruto, even worse than Noodles. Yes, I know. You probably never thought somebody could surpass Noodles in stupidity, but yes, there is a person built like that and who has surpassed Noodles in when it comes to stupidity, and that is Mr. LOKO. So we're going to be checking out his dog shit video of Sage Naruto versus, Summit Sasuke, and he's basically saying who would have won. Obviously, he's definitely going to say, what's it called, Sasuke wins or whatever you name it. The funny thing about this is it's not heavy Sasuke, so he's using 5 Kage Summit Sasuke. So I will say this for the sake of the video, because I at least have a sense of integrity. If it's full power, like Susanoo 5K Summit Sasuke, like when he has the full Susanoo, you name it, the whole 9, then he would more than likely defeat Sage Naruto, and that's only because Naruto does state verbatim he needs the 9 Tails power to beat him, which is referring to KCM, you name it, so on and so forth, you name it, blah blah. And basically, Sage Naruto, he could probably be able to combat this Sasuke. I don't see why he wouldn't be able to, but once his timer runs out, then he's kind of cooked. While Sasuke, he has all day, every day, right? So that's kind of like the problem. Like, you could technically argue, like, oh, Naruto, he could have, like, his 3 Sage Mode clones, right? If this is, like, Sage Mode Naruto in the Pain arc, or even War arc Naruto, you could technically argue that as well. But that's about 15 minutes, whatever, which is very crucial. That's pretty good, too. So then it just gets to a question, like, who's basically just going to be gassed out first, and again, that's where it gets a little bit tricky there, and so on and so forth. So, like, there is a possibility potentially that Sage Naruto could pull it off, but it's more than likely in leaning towards Sasuke. And, like, at the end of the day, like, Naruto just gets a concession. Like, he literally says he needs the 9 Tails power in order to beat him, whatever. And that's only after seeing, like, almost blind Sasuke and, like, really fatigued and shit, And when they have, like, their Chidori and Rasengan clash as well. So well, that's basically it. But we're going to get into this dog shit of a video, and let's see what happens.
For some reason, Naruto vs Sasuke at the Kage Summit is still widely considered to be a toss-up, but I don't really believe that this is the case at all. I'm just gonna get it out of the way. While I don't believe that this is a complete stomp, I do believe the fight leans heavily in Sasuke's favor at this point in time. So for my explanation, I'm just gonna strictly be using feats. There are a lot of narrative arguments that you can provide as to why this is a very close fight, or maybe even that Naruto would be able to beat Sasuke. But for the purposes of this video, I'm just going to skip right into the meat and potatoes. If you want a more in-depth explanation of these narrative arguments, I encourage you to check out my buddy Virtue's video. He explained these topics very well, and I agree with pretty much everything he said. But without further ado, let's get right into the video. So it's worth noting that Sasuke was performing pretty well against the 4th Raikage at...
That was actually funny that you mentioned Virtue. Hey, I'll say this, bro. Let's see how long he's your buddy. Let's see, LOKO. I'm gonna give you a challenge, LOKO. I challenge you to not piss off anyone else. Okay?
At the very beginning of the Kage Summit, before his MS had really even developed any further than it had against B. As a matter of fact, Sasuke was shown to be faster than the 4th Raikage in his version 1 state, while Sasuke only had his basic 3 Tomo Sharingan active, not even his MS. Of course, Sage Naruto...
Okay, so that's also not true. Well, we'll debunk that really. So, this is what happens exactly, because LOKO already wants to rat and be a lion-ass bitch. So, he tries to go from behind and strike at Raikage. The Raikage dodges it clearly. He dodges it, whatever, he moves out of the way. Then Sasuke does his Chidori. Then he charges whatever, goes to do his elbow. Now, mind you, this is from a distance when they were charging at each other. And on top of it, he's using precog in order to dodge the attack. If he didn't have the Sharingan, he actually would have got blitzed and killed right there and then. So that's the only reason he actually dodges it. And it was from a distance, remind you. So then he dodges the blow. He lands a successful hit. And then basically after that hit, he gets speed blitz, because when he's in close range, like if they were trying to go blow for blow hand-to-hand combat, or if he's like remotely in anywhere near in this radius of distance, right, he would just immediately get speed blitz, because that's just how much more faster Raikage is. So in a regard, he's like relative to V1 Raikage when using his precognition, you know what I mean? But he's not as fast as a Raikage. He's not equal to him in terms of speed. That's blatantly disproven right after their exchange. He literally grabs him immediately, overpowers him, and then literally would have killed him right here and then if he didn't have Susanoo in the MS. He would have died right there and then. So he's not V1 Raikage level. I'm just putting that out there right now. Just saying. And then as for Sage Mode Naruto, what's it called? Would be basically he would scale to KCM Naruto in speed as well. If anything, Sage Mode Naruto is actually technically faster, but just want to put that out there. So, but anyways, let's continue. So I just want to kind of debunk that bullshit and nonsense. Oh, and I didn't show it, but even Darui was able to fucking like speed blitz Sasuke with jutsu activation. So, like he basically weaves signs, so he uses his body speed and then does ninjutsu, and he's able to speed blitz Sasuke. So again, like, you know, Sasuke's not max V1 Raikage speed. Not even his henchmen are.
Raikage during the start of the 4th Great Shinobi War, so they should have pretty similar speed scaling, right? Before I answer that, we need to establish the connection between the 3rd and 4th Raikage. Are they even relative to each other in terms of speed? So the 3rd Raikage was known for stalemating the 8 Tails on a daily basis. They would fight each other all the time and sometimes even pass out from exhaustion. However, the 4th Raikage is stated multiple times to be stronger than the likes of Killer Bee, who is the perfect Jinchuriki of the 8 Tails, and we know that a perfect Jinchuriki will always be stronger than its Bijou since it has the ability to focus their chakra more. Of course, both the 3rd and 4th Raikage have fought against KCM-1 Naruto at some point in time. The 4th Raikage fought against KCM-1 Naruto just as he was leaving Turtle Island and is stated and shown to be relative to KCM-1 in speed with just his version 1 cloak active, not even using his full power. Of course, the 3rd Raikage also shows some kind of relativity to KCM-1 since he's able to dodge his Rasen Shuriken twice consecutively. However, I could argue that the 4th Raikage actually fought a stronger version of KCM-1 Naruto. So it's stated that whenever Naruto is using his KCM-1 form, Kurama is constantly siphoning his chakra, so if he uses it for extended periods of time, he's going to be fatigued and weaker than he normally would be. Like I mentioned, the 4th Raikage fought Naruto just as he was leaving Turtle Island. He hadn't even made it to the 4th War battlefield yet. Meanwhile, the 3rd fought Naruto later that morning after he had stayed in his KCM-1 form throughout the entire night. Of course, the 3rd actually fought a shadow clone of KCM-1.
So I'm also going to debunk that as well. So basically, LOKO is correct in the sense that when he's using the Nine-Tails Chakra Cloak, that basically, you know, he's losing its power. It's kind of like a, you know, a pool of chakra that he has, and it just goes down and down and down the more he uses it, whether if it's jutsus, combat, you know, whatever you name it, we're just having it on, you know. So that is true, but what LOKO doesn't understand and what he can never be able to prove as well is the time skips that we have between the war arc, whether if it's anime, manga, whatever. So there's a point where we see Naruto where he's in the forest and he's using it, whatever, you name it, when he has it on, and then out of nowhere, Raikage and Tsunade are there. So the problem is Naruto could literally be at 99% of power, 98% of power. At the end of the day, we don't fully know, but we know he's at least close to his original power because he's at least able to replicate insane levels of speed, you know what I mean, in feats and so on and so forth. So it's not like this is like a KCM Naruto that's like at 50% power or lower, you know what I mean, or 60 or 70. There's no way to fucking prove that. So he's at least close to his original power, you know, or even if he was at his original power, it still wouldn't change anything. Everything would still go the same. So just kind of want to put that out there. That's, again, he would never be able to prove any of that. But I just wanted to state that. And as for Killer Bee and whatnot, he was not equal to the Raikage even at V1 speed. He gets beat up like several fucking times, you name it. If you want to argue like he's relative when it comes to like a certain regard, that's fine, but it also depends on like on certain variables, whether it's like the distance, you know, where they're at, and on top of it of like fucking where his focus is and things and so on and so forth. So, and on top of it, Raikage doesn't want to kill Killer Bee either. So there is a point where he does block the punch, but he has to use partial transformation to tank it. He couldn't even use his hand, otherwise he would have got clapped. So like, I will say this, like, at that particular moment, we don't know exactly where Killer Bee was, but maybe he like was just at least close enough. He was able to do it just in time, you name it. And then there you go, and that's why he was able to block, and he did his partial transformation, otherwise he would have got shitted on. And also Raikage could have also been suppressing his power. The moment he saw Killer Bee there, he could have tried to restrain his punch and, to cushion the blow too. So there's that too. Either way, there's a lot of variables. Bottom line is, regardless of all those variables or whatever, when we see further feats, he completely shits on Killer Bee. Like, he's shitting on both of them at the same exact time. So, like, he's not even equal to V1 full power Raikage. So there's that too. But
and not the real deal. This was after Naruto had dispersed himself into 12 separate clones so he could fight at each and every single battlefield. Basically, the 4th Raikage fought a stronger and less fatigued version of KCM1 Naruto who hadn't split his chakra amongst 12 clones yet. As a matter of fact, whenever Naruto is fighting the 3rd Raikage, he gets a...
So one thing I'll say on that too, the shadow clone that fights the 3rd Raikage, so there's two ways basically to see this. You have KCM Naruto basically in the war, and the one that fights like the 4th Raikage, right? And you could either go along with, yeah, that one's stronger than the clone because it's a clone, right? And so there you go, whatever you name it, and that's what you're working with. Or if you go along the logic to where you can argue the clones are at least relative or even equal to the original user, but it's just a clone, whatever. You could try to do that as well, so on and so forth, because there are feats where it shows like the clones. Whenever Naruto's doing shadow clones, whether if it's base, QB, whatever it is, they're all striking at the same exact time, so on and so forth. So you can be able to argue like that the shadow clones are either relative or equal to the user. Regardless, however you want to deem that, whatever, that's not really that serious. What I will say at the end of the day is the KCM shadow clone Naruto, more than likely, possibly wise, it's probably more weaker than the one we see against the 4th Raikage. And the only reason why is because, it comes out of nowhere in the battlefield, whatever. We see, fighting against the 3rd Raikage, things like that, and so you can kind of go along the route that it is, weaker compared to the one that fought the 4th Raikage. Now, to say it's, drastically weaker, I wouldn't go that far, but you could say it's weaker to some sense of regard. If you want to, go against that, you could even say, they're in a similar ballpark because Naruto does think of the 4th Raikage in the flashback when he's fighting the 3rd Raikage, and he's like, I know Raikages are really fast, so there's that too. Overall, there is contentiousness with the overall thing, but if I had to actually emphasize and pick what I would truly believe in and argue against, I would say the Shadow Clone that is fighting the 3rd Raikage would be weaker than the Naruto that we see against the 4th Raikage. So I would agree with that. So basically, in a nutshell, all that would basically ultimately prove is that the Naruto, or the 3rd Raikage that's there, he's not as fast as 4th Raikage, but he would have, but the 3rd Raikage would have greater durability and also have greater AP. You know what I mean? That's basically all we'll get at, but that's basically what you're working with, so.
Flashback of his fight against the 4th Raikage and says, yup, all of these Raikages are really, really fast. Yet in that flashback, he is thinking about the version 1 4th Raikage who is not currently using his full power. So based off this line of reasoning, more likely than not, the 4th Raikage in just his version 1 state would be equal to, if not even faster than the 3rd Raikage. To sum it all up, Sasuke with just his basic 3-Tomo Sharingan was already shown to be faster than the version 1 4th Raikage, while Naruto was only ever shown to physically react to the 3rd Raikage, who was possibly slower than the 4th. So basically, Sasuke scales to these KCM 1 level opponents in terms of speed, while Sage Naruto is just like Sage Naruto.
So I already debunked all that. I already explained why. That doesn't make any sense. So we do know Sage 1 Naruto actually is faster than KCM. We see with the 3rd Raikage interaction. KCM Naruto is failing to hit the 3rd Raikage multiple times. It takes him the 3rd time in order to land a successful hit. But by creating a diversion moment to make him forced to jump in the air while he's stuck in midair. And we know when you're in midair, it's a lot more harder to dodge attacks or react accordingly. Reduces your speed and everything. So that's the reason why he was able to do it. But then when the moment he goes into Sage mode, it's not only stated verbatim his sensory is faster, but he's also faster, and he's able to land a successful blow on the 3rd Raikage immediately, the first attempt. So Sage mode's actually blatantly shown to be greater than KCM when it comes to regard to sensory and speed and whatnot. So there's that as well. So meaning, if it's obviously a full power Naruto, not a clone of Naruto, right? Then obviously when he's in Sage mode, he would just be over full KCM. So meaning, therefore, nothing has fucking changed. So basically what LOKO tried to advocate is Sage Mode, he's basically saying Sage Mode Naruto at full power would be as strong as a clone with Sage Mode. You know what I mean? That makes obviously no fucking sense. So you have that as well. And then another thing too, with the whole like fourth Raikage and the third Raikage thing, whatever. You could, regardless however you deem that whole thing, that's a whole other can of worms. But you could say they're relative. You know what I mean? Either to each other, but the fourth Raikage would be faster, or the fourth Raikage is way more faster. But the third Raikage does have durability and AP over the fourth Raikage, because the third Raikage's AP feats and durability feats are fucking insane. Like at the end of the day, the fourth Raikage got fucked up by a Chidori, and we know obviously a Rising Shuriken from KC of Naruto, or you know what I mean, or in a Sage Mode Rasengan would be obviously greater than a fucking Chidori from 3 Tomo Sasuke. Come on, let's be real. You know what I mean? So obviously when it comes to like, you know, durability and fucking an AP, like that third Raikage takes that all day every day. Like his fucking sword is insane. So
I'm very hesitant to say that
Naruto even says the third Raikage's spear thing is similar to Kakashi's jutsu, you know, the Raikiri and Chidori. So
Naruto even scales to the third Raikage in speed. It's possible that he just aim dodged him with the extra danger sensing factor that he gets from Sage Mode, but of course there's no denying that he was able to physically react to the third Raikage, and I don't think he'd have any problem reacting to Sasuke as well. I just like to establish the speed gap between these two characters. Of course,
there's no speed gap. You're fucking retarded and delusional.
Just Sasuke.
Like, bro, like what this guy forgets, Darui's able to react to him, Danzo's able to react to him, like everybody fucking made the whole fucking 9, bro. Like everybody can. You're gonna tell me like Sage 1 Naruto can't do anything and it's just like insane speed gap and he just gets speed blitz or just completely slammed. It's like, come on, bro. Like, and LOKO's been contradicting himself this entire time. Like he emphasizes and basically argues the whole point that Sasuke has to be massively faster than Sage 1 Naruto. Yet he literally says in the beginning of the video, this wouldn't be a slam on either or's part. It would be a pretty good fight, but it wouldn't be a slam, whatever. But he does think Sasuke heavily does have the edge or whatever, so on and so forth. So it's like he's just contradicting himself the entire fucking time. Like he's either saying Sasuke's way more over, faster, whatever, blah, blah, or then he's saying they're at least relative or whatever you name it, to where they can have a full-on fight, ability, so on and so forth, but Sasuke wins, right? Like, make up your fucking mind. You can't even track your own fucking arguments, bro.
Very beginning of the Kage Summit, we know that he should get stronger based off hatred amps because his Susanoo is also rapidly evolving. So by the time he goes up against Danzo, his Susanoo has gone from
that's
just
also
a rib
baseless claim. So no, what's it called? His Susanoo would be getting stronger and so on and so forth, but nothing would indicate that his stats, his body stats are actually changing, and we actually see proof of that. What's it called? Danzo's able to deal with him the entire time. Anime, manga, like body speed to body, they're going blow for blow the whole time. The only time Sasuke's over Danzo is when he's in his Susanoo. So that's also not true at all. And we even see Sasuke using the Mangekyo Sharingan with the Chidori sword, fucking trying to hit Danzo, and Danzo has no Sharingan on, and he's still able to dodge whatever. There's even a point where he tries to do Chidori on Danzo, and Danzo dodges it as well. I think at that point he did have a Sharingan on though. So at the end of the day, like, Danzo's actually more faster than Sasuke, but Sasuke's at least relative to him, but Danzo is more faster.
Cage to the whole dang humanoid. This is a very clear progression of power, speed, and mastery over the Mangekyo Sharingan. Now, in terms of physical strength, Naruto got it hands down. Sage Mode is such a massive buff to your physical stats that it would be wrong for me to say that he wouldn't take this category. But I do believe Sasuke should be able to see this nature energy because the Sharingan can see chakra as colors, which is a component of Senjutsu.
So the Rinnegan does the same exact thing, and it can also see chakra, you name it, the whole 9, yet they couldn't even see it. So Sasuke would not be able to see that. And anime only, we actually see Sage Mode Naruto fight against Sasuke, and Sasuke is not able to see that shit. He actually gets blitzed by Frog Kata. So that's blatantly not true. You would never be able to prove that.
It's not like this really matters though. I don't think Naruto is touching Sasuke in close quarters combat anyways. I've already established that Sasuke is physically faster than Naruto, so therefore he would have the speed to dodge all of his taijutsu strikes. But let's move on to the win cons. What can these two actually do to put each other down? Amaterasu is something that Naruto has no way of expecting or countering. Even if you give these two the intel from their skirmish after the 5 Kage summit, Naruto doesn't know Sasuke has Amaterasu until much later in the 4th Great Shinobi War.
So Naruto would be able to do it in Amaterasu. He could do a shadow clone. He could do with his Sage Mode sensory, you know what I mean? Like, he can move and be fast enough. Again, Sage Mode literally is faster than KCM, so he would be able to easily just move out of the way and dodge it. But even if that wasn't the case, like with his danger sense and Sasuke just basically channeling it and then going to shoot it, he would have plenty of time to even use like a shadow clone just to take it as a shield. And at that point, a shadow clone compared to a Amaterasu usage, it's going to be way more taxing to Sasuke. Kind of like what Borishiki did to, Boruto Sasuke. Sasuke does a Amaterasu, he just does a shadow clone, bam. So, no, that wouldn't happen either.
Of course, Amaterasu is extremely fast. Whenever Sasuke whipped out the Mangekyo Sharingan against the 4th Raikage, he felt the need to enter his version 2 state immediately. This is corroborated by C's statement in which he says verbatim that the Raikage is preparing to use his body flicker specifically so he can combat against the Mangekyo Sharingan. So basically, the Raikage needed a higher tier of speed that Naruto doesn't really have any scaling to at this point.
No. Like this motherfucker's so delusional. Like, he just keeps saying, "Oh, Naruto," like, bro, he has the feats of the war arc, you dumb ass bitch, bro. He's faster than KCM Naruto, you stupid ass. Like,
in time, you can argue that he'd be able to sense it coming with Sage Mode danger sensing, but I feel like even that would be a stretch. He has
the only way his scaling would go through is if he's able to prove a full power Sage Mode Naruto is the same as a shadow clone Sage Mode Naruto. That's the only way. But even then, like, here's the funny part about that. Even if he could somehow prove that, which he can't, what's it called? That would completely destroy his entire scaling chain, because he's saying the KCM Naruto that's fucking fighting the Raikage, you know what I mean? Like, that full power KCM Naruto, and then the one that's fighting against the 3rd Raikage, he said that the full power one is way stronger, whatever, and the other one's weaker because it's a shadow clone, so on and so forth. So, like, that would just completely shatter his whole argument as a whole, because, like, then if you apply the Sage Mode to the Sage Mode, then it'd be the same for KCM. So meaning, then that KCM that fights 3rd Raikage would be just as strong as the KCM that's against the 4th Raikage. Like, I don't know what the fuck to tell you, bro. Like, hey, like, I don't know what the fuck to tell you.
No way of dodging it, blocking it, or really doing anything. Of course, Kagetsuchi Blaze release is possibly even faster than normal Amaterasu, since Sasuke was able to wrap it around his entire ribcage Susanoo while the Raikage is seemingly moving in slow motion. Keep in mind that this is still version 2 Raikage with body flicker active. Of course, Sasuke also has the Susanoo arrow, which is consistently shown to be faster than his normal physical movement speed, since Danzo was able to combat and react to Sasuke, but could not do anything to dodge or avoid the Susanoo arrow in the slightest. He couldn't even make the hand signs to activate Izanagi before he got hit. Since I've already demonstrated that Naruto blatantly isn't in Sasuke's tier of speed at this point in time, he just have no way of countering the Susanoo arrow in any way. It's just too fast for him. Sasuke's Genjutsu is also something that shouldn't be trifled with. It's very...
But he could definitely dodge the arrow. Again, Sage Mode sensory, speed scaling, whatever you name it, that wouldn't be a problem. You know, he could do a massive Rasengan against it, you know. He could do all kinds of things, but, like, again, he hasn't proved anything with
at this
speed
point in
scaling,
time.
So.
Earlier in the series, Orochimaru was quite literally getting flashbacks of Itachi and is being traumatized whenever Sasuke whips out Genjutsu on him. He heavily implies that Sasuke's Genjutsu prowess is approaching Itachi's level, and this was before—
That's also baseless. No, that's a baseless ass interpretation. The correct interpretation is it's reminding him of when he was dealing with Itachi's Genjutsu and when he got defeated by it, and then again, Uchiha is using Genjutsu to beat him again. No, there's no way you can confirm that means Sasuke is approaching that level or has the same level, whatever. There's nothing at all to imply that. At all. All it is simply Orochimaru getting pissed off that he's losing the fucking Genjutsu again, whatever, so on and so forth. Itachi was way, way, way more stronger than fucking Sasuke. And when they actually even do their Genjutsu exchanges, Itachi is shitting on him the whole time as well. So,
before he even gained the Mangekyo Sharingan. I also think that nothing short of the Rasen Shuriken could break through Sasuke's Susanoo, since the humanoid and armored versions of the Susanoo really have no anti-feats in the entire series. They're just kinda cracked. Speaking of the Rasen Shuriken,
So that's not true either. Danzo uses a summoning, and he has like, it does like wind style or whatever, and it's hitting the back of the armor or whatever, and it's actually able to break through it. So if Danzo can break it with ninjutsu and a summoning, I don't see why Sasuke Naruto could have an issue being able to break it with a big enough Rising Gun or a Rising Shuriken, whatever, so on and so forth. Better yet, if we're really going to go this route and LOKO just wants to continue to be a dishonest and rat, so on and so forth, oh, okay. Well, when Madara, when he whipped out his Susanoo, bro, Naruto does a massive Rasengan in Sage Mode, and mind you, that was a clone, not even full power, and Madara absorbed it instead of just tanking it with the Susanoo. So, just saying, you know, there is that as well. And we've seen Tsunade be able to break through Susanoo's, we've seen Raikage, you name it, so on and so forth, so I disagree with that. Yeah, A destroys Sasuke Susanoo with the chop as well. To be fair, that was the ribcage. He is talking about the humanoid full armor Susanoo. But the problem, though, is Danzo breaks through the full armored Susanoo against Sasuke when he's using wind style in the summoning. So, if Danzo can break against it with wind style, bro, you know, like, I don't know what to tell you. You know what I mean? I'm going to be honest, I think V2 Raikage could also easily break through it, probably. Or if he hits it enough, because, think of it this way, what's it called, like, yeah, that's what it was. Danzo, he's over here breaking a wind style and shit. So yeah, I don't see why Sage Naruto couldn't do it, or whatever, so on and so forth, you name it. So, like, yeah. But in regarding to break it, and it's like, I'll be honest, I'll say this, as the fight, how it would go, like, you know, they're basically fighting whatever, they're going at it. Naruto's breaking the Susanoo here and there, you name it. But, you know, it's just still not enough, and Sasuke's repairing the Susanoo, and they're just going at it, whatever. But to say Naruto couldn't be able to break it, I think that's a bunch of fucking baloney.
Shuriken, I don't think it's even a big deal whatsoever. I definitely believe Sasuke has the speed necessary to straight up dodge it entirely.
Oh, and Ken, since you're still here, you want to know what this fucking retard said for why Sage Naruto loses? He thinks 5 Summon Sasuke is just drastically fucking faster than Sage Naruto. And he's contradicted himself several times. Like, he'll say they're relative, but then he says he's way faster. Then he'll say in the beginning of the video, nobody slams either or, but he thinks Sasuke's heavily favored. Like, the man contradicts himself the whole fucking time. But anyways, what his scaling was, KCM Naruto fights 4th Raikage, and a clone of KCM Naruto fights the 3rd Raikage, whatever, blah, blah. And then basically we see the Sage Naruto fighting against the 3rd Raikage, and he lands a blow, whatever, blah, blah. So therefore, what's it called? Since we've seen that, or whatever you name it, that would mean Sage Naruto has to be massively slower than KCM. But that makes no fucking sense, because he's comparing the original user, a full power original user, to a shadow clone of the original user. Like, what the fuck? So if we steelman that and take that logic, okay, so we have a full power original Sage Naruto. Full power original Sage Naruto would just scale over full power KCM Naruto, because we see Shadow Clone Sage Naruto scale over KCM Naruto when it comes to Sentry and speed. So, I don't know what to fucking tell you, bro. Like, made no fucking sense. He's over here trying to argue the original full power Sage Naruto scales exactly the same to a Sage Shadow Clone Naruto. Like, what the fuck? Like, it's so dumb.
We see Pain was able to do something similar twice. Like, even the Pray to Pass big ass was able to jump in front of Tendo Pain and start absorbing that shit immediately. Like, Sasuke is doing the exact same thing, but even faster. Like, even if Naruto tricks Sasuke and he somehow doesn't have enough time to dodge the Rasen Shuriken, he should just be able to overpower it with Fire Release, because wind is weak to fire. Of course, Amaterasu is stated to be the highest form of Fire Release in the entire series, so I see no reason why Sasuke wouldn't be able to counter it with the Black Flames. Realistically, Naruto has nothing else in his arsenal that would be capable of damaging.
You know what's actually funny about that? I could technically argue that wouldn't be the case, because when we see it in the War Arc, it literally just makes the Rasen Shuriken stronger. So if anything, it could potentially backfire and actually really shit on Sasuke, because when we see them do it in the war, when he does the Rasen Shuriken and Sasuke does the Amaterasu on it, you know what I mean? Like, it just gets more powerful and stronger, you know? Like, So I'm just saying, bro. Like, I don't know. I'm just saying.
Sasuke. The Rasen Shuriken is the only thing that will deal meaningful damage, and he's not going to be able to hit Sasuke with his normal Rasengans because, once again, he's just too slow. Naruto summoning in Genjutsu or even Genjutsu, since we know he was able to do the same thing.
Yeah, Sasuke does say he needed the EMS to fight Naruto. That is true. The only issue, though, I will say with that is, like, to be fair, you could argue that that Sasuke's only saying that because he's literally, like fucking blind, you know what I mean? Like, he needs the eyes, otherwise, because, like, his current state wouldn't be enough to beat him, you know what I mean? So, like, I think that's what it's more than likely leaning towards, not the fact that, like, he needs, like, that he needs, like, the EMS in order, like, even if he had, like, his MS and blah, blah, you know what I mean? So, but I get what you're saying. You could argue that and take it that angle, but I just... The only reason I don't think that's the case because it's contradicted by what even Naruto says, because Naruto says he needs the 9 kills power to defeat that Sasuke, which would be referring to KCM and everything you name it. So...
to Manda, who should be a similar tier to someone like Gamabunta. Technically, during the Kage Summit, Naruto didn't have access to the same prep time that he did against Pain. I'm just now realizing this, so realistically, Naruto shouldn't spawn in with Ma, Pa, and the extra clones he keeps at Mount Miyaboku. Like, honestly, Naruto might just be cooked. We don't even know if he has a legitimate summoning contract with Ma and Pa, so he might not even be able to bring them to the battlefield in the first place, which means that he would lose out on a really good win.
So it's also very dishonest. That's not true. So initially he does that, but after the first time, he's actually able to do Sage Mode without summoning them through the scroll. He does that when he gets out of the Chubaku Tensei against Pain. He does that when he's being held by Pain as well. Things like that. So that's not true. I'm just saying. He could do it without the scroll, and he also does it in the movies and in the War Arc. What's it called? Well, yeah, no, the War Arc he doesn't use clones, but yeah. But he does it without the scroll with clones. So that's not true. Yeah, no, that's fair too, Ken, that they're both just relative. Yeah, no. That's a fair point, that it could mean that they're both relative, and that's why they both believe they need something like a higher power in order to win. Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. Like, based upon everything, like, the fight is contentious itself. You can approach it at many angles, but I feel like if you fully analyze it as a whole, the only reason Sasuke would just have the edge, because I do believe they would both scale to each other. I don't think either or is blitzing and shit like that, right? And it would be a good fight, but I just think Sasuke would outlast Sage Mode Naruto. I think that's where the issue comes. Like, the guy was able to go for a good while. Now, to be fair, the counter arguments against Sasuke was that he was healed many times. He was given stamina and chakra by Zetsu, by Karen several times, so there is that as well. But, at the end of the day, what's it called? That's just kind of what you're working with. But, because we know Sage Mode, you get 5 minutes, right? And so if we then give, Naruto 3 Sage Mode clones that we know he could do, you know what I mean? And we have that at least, that means Naruto would have 15 minutes to use Sage Mode, which is a lot of fucking time, especially in the world of Naruto, because they're moving so fucking fast and shit. So, it's still contentious in a sense, but that's the only reason why I think Sasuke would more than likely have it. And mainly also due because of Susanoo. Like, Susanoo is just it's a big deal, man. Like, you could just keep using that. If it breaks, you can reactivate it, Like Susanoo's kind of really annoying to deal with. But that's my only, thing with it. The only other thing, I can really say as for, the Susanoo thing is, again, Sasuke says he wants to use, the EMS or whatever to take down Naruto because he wants to use he wants to be at his absolute full power just to slaughter him or whatever, so there's no chance whatsoever. But the fact that Naruto thinks of Sasuke, gauges him when he first saw him, he's like, yeah, I need 9 tails, whatever, knowing he has Sage Mode, whatever, I don't know, that's all I'm getting at. But no, but that is a fair point to bring up. So wait. But I just think, with Sasuke's a Materatsu, Susanoo attacks all the time, I just think it'd be too much for Sage Mode Naruto. That's the only reason. So, that's basically what I'm getting at. And if we take the anime into consideration as well, we technically see those forms fight each other, and Sage Mode was able to fight him to a certain regard and degree, But eventually it was just not enough, and he had to go to KCM in order to win. So.
Con being Frog Song. Of course, not having an additional reserve of Sage Mode clones would also be very, very bad news for Naruto. So I'm really not comfortable saying Naruto's mastery over Sage Mode is any better than it was during the Pain arc, so he should only be able to create 2 Rasen Shurikens at a time before he runs out of Senjutsu energy. And if Naruto at any point runs out of Sage Mode, Sasuke is going to easily...
So that's also not true either. In the War arc, he's actually shown to use multiple Rising Shurikens without losing Sage Mode or whatever. So I don't know where the fuck he's getting that from. Just saying. But just putting that out there, you know what I mean? I'm just saying, man. Like, again, do your fucking homework, LOKO. Like, over just saying nonsense. Like, Naruto literally fucking spams Rising Shurikens again when he's fighting against the Ten Tails with the Shinobi Alliance. He's over here throwing the motherfuckers, a shit ton of them. I think it was about like 3 or 4 or 5 that he throws. So it's definitely at least more than 2.
Piece him up. Base Naruto versus MS Sasuke is not even a competition, it's just a slaughter. So overall, Sasuke has a considerable speed advantage in this fight, as well as...
Yeah, so we already went over, he's just gonna say the same bullshit. So I already disliked the dog shit video because it's absolutely fucking dog shit. But yeah. What's stopping Naruto from making the clones to go somewhere off battle? Yeah, Naruto could do that as well, yeah. So even while, like, if he's getting, like, you know, let's say he's already using his first or second and he only has 1 more, he could literally do that. He's able to, I think at the Pain arc, he could do, like, 2 Sage Mode clones. That's as much as he can do during the battle. But yeah, he could just literally, have, do one of his Sage Mode clones. They can run off, whatever, right? And then basically he could just start channeling, you know, nature energy, like with like another clone, whatever, things like that, you name it, so on and so forth. But yeah, he could easily do that because the shadow clones, they're also able to make shadow clones. That's blatantly proven in the War arc. Like when Naruto, when a shadow clone summons a shit ton of more shadow clones with just some juice from Kurama, and he was able to stalemate Edo Madara's wood style jutsu. So yeah, shadow clones can make shadow clones as well. So there's that too. But yeah, so all Naruto would have to do is just basically have his shadow clone go make another one, you know, and there you go, and then that one just channels it. This way, he always has a Sage Mode shadow clone just in reserve. So yeah. But overall, general thoughts. Dog shit video. Again, he's just like choking on Sasuke's dick. You know what I mean? He's obsessed with him. Whatever. Blah blah. Like, I will say this. I agree with the verdict of 5K Summit Sasuke beating Naruto. I do agree that would be the case, and I will say this: I do think it's so contentious that I don't mind if you argue for either or. But my problem is when you want to say Summit Sasuke is drastically more fucking faster, you're on fucking crack. Like, you're on crack for that, bro. You know what I mean? Like, so that's just blatantly dishonest and not true at all. So, but yeah. But that's basically what you're working with. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you leave a like, comment your thoughts down below. Who do you think takes it? Subscribe for more content. Subscribe because of the channel. Bye out. Peace.